Life is the prickly pear. It's always going to be a combination of beauty and hurt. No matter how hard you try to protect yourself from the hard parts, there is no way to avoid the pain.
Queer Lit, no chill. Some crumbs of academia, mostly chaos. If Queer Lit is your love language, we're fluent. Listen up, babes. We're not here to tease. We spill everything. Listener discretion is strongly encouraged, but honestly, you knew that. Welcome to Cliterature, the podcast.
Hey,
Hi.
Episode 12.
Yeah.
I don't even have to think about what episode number this is because it's episode 12. This is our 1 year anniversary episode.
Yes.
Can you believe we've made it a whole year?
I can.
I can,
We're
actually.
badasses.
Yeah.
That sounded weird. We're badasses. We're badasses. I have a great ass.
You put
I don't know
the
what you're talking
emphasis
about.
on the wrong syllable there, my friend.
Oh, off to a great start.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah, we're super stoked that we're still here, and we're stoked about this book.
Yeah, it was a really good one. You've read it
was.
before. This was my first time.
Yeah.
And I laughed a lot for a book about a death road trip. It was quite humorous.
Yeah, I feel like there was the appropriate amount of levity for a death
Yeah.
trip.
And as someone with a really morbid sense of humor, I appreciated all of it. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, otherwise we would just be depressed the entire time because this fantastic character, Joe Delgado,
yeah.
the amazing teacher, he dies. That's the whole point.
He's so... Okay, first of all, in case you don't know, we're talking about Here We Go Again by Alison Cochrun.
Yes.
And loose premise, amazing teacher, Joe, dying of cancer, asked two of his favorite students, they're now grown adults.
And also teachers.
And also teachers at the same high school that they went to and learned under him, to take him on a death road trip. He's dying and he wants to go die at his cottage in Maine.
Right.
And they live in the Pacific Northwest. So that is a
quite a
cross
trip.
country ask. Not only that, but the two students he asked have a little bit of a history together.
And they hate each other.
Yeah, they hate. And by
hate
history,
each
I mean
other.
they hate each
They
other.
absolutely hate each other.
They used to be best friends.
Yes.
Then they kissed.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that can ruin things.
And it did in this case. And then they became mortal enemies. I don't know that I've read two characters who were best friends who hated each other as much as these two hated each other at the beginning of this book.
Or seemed to. Like, they both played the part really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
There's a fine line between love and hate.
And they walked it with precision in this book. We start out as one does in an Applebee's. And this was one of, there was a lot of great quotes in this one. The very first paragraph is, as she stands in the middle of an Applebee's being dumped by a woman she didn't realize she was dating, Logan Miletus has a realization. This is all Death's fault. And boy, was she right.
Yeah. I feel like that totally sets up the character and the book.
Yeah.
All together.
Bravo for one of the best and most creative ways to open a book that I've read. This Applebee's, though, has seen some shit.
It has.
Just in this one night, there were teachers getting wasted at a social mixer for all the teachers in the high school. Logan's getting dumped by another teacher. She didn't realize she
publicly
was
and loudly.
Real publicly.
They're recording it.
It's on video.
Yeah.
The receipts were kept.
Yeah.
And I mean, just humiliatingly dumped in the middle of an Applebee's,
Yeah.
which, I mean, I guess if it's got to happen, that's a good place to be, any. And then Rosemary, our other character, is getting fired at the
laid
same...
off.
Laid off, excuse me.
The right word.
Sorry. She was getting laid off at the same Applebee's.
Yeah, at the end of the year party for the teachers.
Yeah.
He's like, make sure you come to the party because I have to talk to you about something. And she's like, oh, it's going to be my fantastic lesson planning or my summer school class that I'm going to teach or how I overachieve about everything else. And he's like, I'm sorry, but...
we don't have the budget to keep you on. Yeah, Logan says this is not the first time she was dumped in this Applebee's.
Yeah, it makes me feel like this town is really small or Logan is really cheap. She only takes her
Maybe
dates
she's just really into Applebee's.
to Applebee's. Listen, they've got some pretty good apps.
I
I'm
do
not
like,
gonna lie.
well, the apps, yeah, and that like blondie brownie situation.
So
that
good.
they have for dessert.
And they stay open late. I remember in college, we would go to Applebee's after, like, because I was in theater. So we would go after rehearsals, which would be like 11:30 midnight, you know, at night. And then we would drink apple drafts, which was like $1 for Miller Lite.
Okay.
And it was fantastic.
We
and
used
I would
to go,
eat, like, we would all order appetizers and then everybody would share.
They had that like unlimited bottomless riblet basket.
Yeah, I mean,
what is a riblet anyway? What was that? I don't know, but it was unlimited.
It was
so
mystery
whatever.
meat that tasted okay and really cheap for a college student.
Oh,
so
for sure.
I was happy with it.
I could put away like 3 baskets of riblets. Easy.
I mean, sometimes I still crave those honey barbecue boneless wings with ranch.
I still go eat at an Applebee's every now and then, not gonna lie.
I ain't gonna hate on Applebee's,
Yeah.
but I've never been dumped in an Applebee's.
Same. Never been dumped in an Applebee's. I'd never witnessed someone being dumped in an Applebee's. That I'm aware of.
No, but for some reason, I'm just imagining really sticky carpet in this one.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't.
Yeah, this
It
Applebee's is
didn't
probably
seem
not,
like an upstanding
No.
Applebee's. It just seemed like the only place to go.
it was the only thing in town. Yeah, because I think they do talk about this town being kind of small and
Yeah, but
overall
but
shitty.
gorgeous because she's like there. You can hike and the mountains are
I
beautiful.
mean, I don't know that
and
there's an ugly place in the Pacific Northwest.
I agree with that
so-
wholeheartedly. I would move in an instant.
Yeah. So Joe, their amazing teacher.
Yeah, he was their mentor, and both of them have. Well, Logan's mother abandoned her very young, and she lived with her dad, and her dad was fantastic, but she has abandonment issues because her mother left her.
Right.
And then Rosemary's father died early in
Yeah.
her life and had all kinds of other issues that she talks about later in the book. And so Joe kind of filled the void for parents on both sides of Rosemary and Logan. And so I think that they looked at him as a mentor because they both grew up and taught English, and that's what he taught. But also at the same time, it was more than that. And he was their like safe space. Also, he was a queer teacher.
He was
and
an
both
out
of them-
queer
yeah,
teacher
an
at
out-
a very conservative type
Right.
school.
Right.
It wasn't religious, but it was in a small town, and he was the only openly queer teacher
right.
at that time.
At the end of his life, they talk about, do you remember the first time you walked into his classroom in 9th grade with his like rainbow flag hung up
And his colorful scarf.
And he said, "Welcome, my children."
Yeah.
And just made them all feel, maybe not everybody, but made Logan and Rosemary feel very much at home and accepted and loved. So this mentor, and they've grown up and followed in his footsteps, and now he is not going to be around anymore.
I think that that's like a very important thing as far as students who may feel different or have tough situations that they're going through. I know, like for me, I felt very out of place in high school, especially, and went through a lot of really dark times.
Yeah.
Now looking back, a lot of like undiagnosed depression and things like that. And I had a teacher, it was an art teacher and not an English teacher, but I had an art teacher who was that safe space for me. Like I would go and sit in her classroom on her planning period or on my lunch break or whatever. And she ended up being a big part after I graduated in my coming out journey. Like she took me to my first drag show when I was in college and things like that. Like we stayed friends for a while, and she came to my wedding when I married my wife and stuff. And so I think being a teacher and being that safe space for kids is a huge thing. And also and being an out teacher like that who can show kids that you can grow up and you can live a happy life.
And Logan was out in high school, but Rosemary was not.
Well, Logan was out because she had to be out.
Yeah, prematurely. She says that she came out before she was ready, but people had started rumors about her being a lesbian, and so she wanted to reclaim the word before people made it.
She was going to make the joke before someone else made the joke, which I feel deep in my soul as well. So Logan also had a lot of not behavioral issues, but a lot of struggles due to her ADHD in school. And Joe really embraced her for who she was and didn't try to change her, which I think made a big impression on her as well. And she even said she later on wanted to do that for her own students, which I thought was really cool.
Because it was really hard for her to focus. It was hard for her to take tests and stuff like that. And he was always there to kind of like tell her that she wasn't dumb. Tell her that there was nothing wrong with her.
It was just how her brain works, and there was nothing wrong with that.
Which is so cool. Huge. I feel like students are looking for that. You know, like people are always looking for acceptance. And regardless of whether you get it from your peers or you get it from your teacher or your parents or whatever it is, it's so important to have that. And I think it was really important for both of them to have that from the same person. Yeah. Even though by the time they got to high school, they were not friendly at all. Yeah. So what happened when they were young is that they were best friends and they all went to this birthday party. And what do you do at a birthday party when you're 14? You play spin the bottle. And it landed on Logan. And so the birthday girl was like all sassy and she was like, you have to kiss whoever it lands on. She can't re-roll. And so Rosemary kisses Logan and it's like sparks immediately. You find out later, both of them are talking about like, oh my God. But Rosemary and Logan go off in the garden to talk about it because they're best friends. Right.
And Rosemary was like, that's not how I expected my first kiss to be. And Logan wanted to fix that. Yeah. And she's like, well, let's redo it now. Let's do a redo. And then they really kiss.
Yeah.
And then all hell broke loose.
Yeah. Well, Logan kissed Rosemary, and instead of them letting it be like this momentous realization on both sides that they both had feelings for each other, they're 14. They both kind of freaked out. Yeah. And Logan does what Logan does, and she makes a joke and
then runs away.
And then Rosemary freaks out because she doesn't know anything about sexuality at all, hadn't even considered the fact that she could be in love with her best friend. And then so she runs off and like kisses a boy.
Right.
That she ends up dating for like all of high school.
Right. Which is why when the book starts, Logan is very convinced that Rosemary is straight.
Yeah. And says it multiple times.
And finally Rosemary's like, what are you talking about?
I am not. Yeah. I think Joe is like, you know that she's
not a lesbian. Yeah, she is a lesbian.
She's a lesbian. And Logan's like, no fucking way. There's no, what?
What? Huh?
How long? Like, how did I not know this? Since when are you a lesbian?
Since we kissed by the pool, you idiot.
You fucking idiot. Since I was 14, you asshole.
Logan is, bless her heart, a fucking idiot.
She is. A lot of times. I mean, God, you just want to shake her half the time. But we've talked about this I almost said off camera. We've talked about this off mic. And I think that I love this book so much, not only because it shows themes of grief and it shows a story of someone who's actively dying and how loved ones are dealing with that, like grief as an active word and grief in past tense and grieving somebody who's still with you, but you know you're not going to have for very long, just grief in all of its forms. But then it also is so wonderful in the representation of all of the
mental
types
health
of brains.
Yeah.
Like it talks about neurodivergence, the whole entire book, and about ADHD and about anxiety and how that can affect your life and how it can manifest in all kinds of different ways.
I love that there's two main characters, both with ADHD.
Yeah.
And both manifest in completely different ways.
Yeah.
You have Logan, who is more of what people, I think, would consider a typical person with ADHD. Right. In that she has trouble focusing sometimes, and she has trouble sticking to routines and schedules and being on time and things like that.
And she likes...
she's hyperactive, and she always has to be moving. And then you have Rosemary, who is almost the polar opposite in the way that her ADHD manifests, in that she is a model student. She's very, in appearances, very calm and collected and has her shit together.
She likes rigid schedules and likes to know what's coming.
But that's how it is, because she has to manage all of her anxiety and her ADHD by this hyper control over her schedule and her life.
And her performance as a student and as a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. She says, my ADHD doesn't look like restlessness or disorganization or blurting out. It looks like intense hyperfixations and overcompensating with perfectionism and poor emotional regulation. And if I have ever saw myself in a character description, girl, it was that one. I was like, amen, sister, because I don't have a formal diagnosis. I have an informal diagnosis from my therapist who was like, you realize that
you are definitely ADHD. Yeah, same.
Yeah. And we've talked about it. And at this point in my life, we don't feel like it's necessary for me to get a formal diagnosis, but she was like, yeah. And I was like, I never once thought. I knew that I thought different and went through life in different ways than other people around me. But I think for a lot of, especially women our age, because we could sit still in class and we could focus. And
we had to.
Right.
We were forced to learn how to mask or
right, exactly.
you got in trouble.
So no one ever thought to put ADHD and us in the same category.
Right.
And now as adults, I think there's a whole generation of women that have come into this late in life and have figured out that all these things that were just kind of quirky about them or,
I'm just quirky.
ways that they just, things that they figured out how to get by in life with were masks and were coping with all of these things that nobody thought
and
we were dealing with.
The root of most of my anxiety.
For sure.
I'm like, I'm an anxious bird. Like, it's funny and like, it's so cute that I have anxiety every day. But the reason why I have so much anxiety is because I never learned how to manage my ADHD or medicate my ADHD. Like I said, like we both, I'm informed. My therapist is like, you're definitely ADHD. Like there's no question that you are Neuro-spicy at all. I don't know what the breadth of it is, but it's there.
It's
for
there
sure.
for sure.
We can take a deep dive, but it might take a while. But I was talking to my wife today about this because I know that my daughter has ADHD and I know it because I see all of the things that I do in her and she hasn't been taught or trained to hide any of those things. Like she's still like learning how to navigate the world and she's like, I don't like how this tag feels in my shirt, or it's so hot outside I'm going to have a complete meltdown and freak out because it's so hot that I can't think.
The grocery store's too loud.
The grocery store's too loud.
Looking
or like,
at myself.
Pep rallies at school. She's like, I can't handle all this screaming. And I'm looking at her like, oh my God. Like our parents would just be like, it's loud, you're fine. Or like, put your socks on. I don't care about the seams. Exactly. Or like, oh, you don't like denim? Okay, well, you're still wearing your jeans. I spent $80 on those. I'm sorry, you're gonna wear those.
I don't care that putting lotion on makes you gag. I'm gonna slather you. Johnson and Johnson.
But and that's the whole thing. Like, it's so crazy parenting somebody who has ADHD and seeing all of those things and being like, okay, how do I not get frustrated because I learned how to mask and I can just put the fucking socks on now. I'll be uncomfortable and it'll bother me all day long.
Right.
But I'm going to wear them.
But I'm going to force myself to get through it.
I'm just going to let myself feel
Do
uncomfortable.
you know that for a few years of my life, I thought that I had Tourette's. I know this is a big bomb to drop in the middle of recording.
Okay. All right.
But once I got into therapy and like started learning more about mental health and ADHD and neurodivergence and everything, I realized I had been vocal stimming my entire life.
Okay, you need to explain this to
me.
Me.
So I would have this compulsion to make noises.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like I had something bubbling in me and I needed to let it out.
Oh yeah.
And
I feel that.
But I also realized that, in the middle of class or in the middle of public or a family gathering was not the place to just make noises or say weird things or whatever or sing.
Quote movies.
Or quote movies.
Burst out into song.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I would just hold it in.
Right.
Until I was alone. And then I would just like, just like let it all out.
Stem and like life depended on it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I would just kind of like
explode,
and like, or like doing things with my hands.
Yeah.
Things like.
And now we have fidget toys.
But like as a
That's
kid,
amazing.
you just see like, random after school specials about this kid with Tourette's who just randomly yells out things. And I'm like, well, that's me. And I'm like, so like I legitimately for part of my childhood was convinced that I had Tourette's and nobody had paid attention and like diagnosed me with it. And now as an adult, I was just like, oh no, I was just
a vocal stem.
It was a vocal stem. But as a kid, I don't know the difference. And I'm
and that's another thing. I think that mental health now, like there's so much more out there for parents and for like just people in general to be like, oh, obviously it's not Tourette's. Obviously I'm just having a vocal stem or like even like I just like fidget toys. We have fidget toys. Like if somebody needs to do something with their hands, they're available now. There's things that you can use now that helps focus and helps like calm you down and helps regulate your nervous system. We didn't have that stuff. No. I feel like we're talking about the 1800s. No, we're just talking about the 1900s.
The late 1900s, but still.
But still. I just like, and we're not that old. I'm not that old, but I'm just saying.
You just got yelled at to sit still and stop fidgeting. And you're just like,
I can't physically. And that's the whole thing.
And like looking back, there were signs. Like I had a baby blanket.
Yeah.
And there was one corner on that baby blanket that was rubbed completely through.
Yeah.
Like just shredded.
Yeah.
Because I loved the way that it felt.
Yeah.
And I would constantly rub it between my fingers.
My
It's
baby
like a
brother
sensory
liked
soothing
corners,
thing.
like of blankets. Like he would rub the
and
corners
even
of
now
blankets.
as an adult, like I will rub the like him at the bottom of my t-shirt or on my shorts as like a self-soothing thing. And I think it's all because of that baby blanket, I'm sure. But just it was those little things that like my mom thought that was kind of quirky and just like a little thing. And I'm like, now, no, I still do it as an adult. It's I just know why I do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I remember the first time I was in therapy and my therapist told me this. It was like all of these things throughout my life that I just thought were weird about me.
Yeah.
Like clicked very rapidly through my brain. It was like spinning a Rolodex of all these just like things that I hid from everybody and just did on my own or whatever. And it was like all the cards fell into place.
Yeah.
And everything made sense. And I was like, I'm not weird. I'm just built a little bit different and that's totally okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not weird.
Yeah.
And it was...
I mean, you're weird, but I love you for being weird.
But
you're all weird.
But yeah, I mean, it was
I know
like,
what you mean. I'm kidding.
No, I totally am weird. And that's fine. I'm also a huge ass nerd, which we also talked about on mic when I had to go through my entire notebook system because... If I appreciate a binder as much as Rosemary does, let's just say that.
Yeah, but let's talk about why you had to go through your notebook because I was afraid that I had OCD. So we don't have to bring up all of this.
Listen, guys, the off mic convos.
One day I'm just going to hit record as soon as she walks in the room and I'm just going to let everybody hear how weird we really are.
But yeah, I think it was just so freeing for me and also made me feel very included in the fact that there's millions of people out there just like me.
Yeah.
You know, that deal with these same things. And yeah, so the fact that this book from page 1, it talks about it in such a diverse and normal way was amazing.
And the fact that they both learned how to navigate each other's ADHD throughout their road trip and rekindling of their romance. Because spoiler alert, this is a fucking romance. Also a death trip, but it's a romance.
It's a lot of things, people.
It's a lot of things. It's layered, okay? But throughout their relationship along the road and like just rehashing things that happened in the past and looking towards the future, I loved how both of them were so patient with the way that their individual ADHD and anxiety manifested and how they could help each other.
They could support each other. And almost what was different about the other person was, I think, one of the biggest things that they loved about, like Rosemary loved how adventurous and spontaneous that Logan was and how joyful.
Yeah, because if she hadn't been, then Rosemary would never experience some of the things that she did.
And Logan really appreciated how organized Rosemary was.
Yeah, she even said, without your binder, without all of your planning, like we would have never made
it
to Maine. Like you planned our hotels, you gave us a route to go on. I would have just been driving around like a clown, you know?
They did pull some stuff on her that pushed Rosemary out of her comfort zone. For one, there was a dog on the road trip, which she didn't know was going to be there.
Very true.
Odysseus. Which
was Joe's cancer dog, but not actually
English
a cancer dog.
Teacher's gonna have a unofficial emotional sport cancer dog.
Yeah,
who failed out of cancer dog
training.
School. Yeah. Which, I mean, if that's not again on theme for the rest of this book, I don't know what is. But yeah, if anyone's gonna have a dog named Odysseus, it's gonna be an English teacher. Joe.
Yeah.
But you've got Joe, the van, the queer cuddler van.
It was like one of those giant, like old school, like
the big sliding door on the side.
Vans with a really high top that you can like, the seats swivel.
Right.
You can like sit in the back.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, honestly, a man who can barely get around and is in a wheelchair, it'd be
That's
great.
probably the best thing to put him in, because that backseat, she said, laid down into a queen size bed.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then you've got Logan, who shows up with like a duffel bag full of tropical button-up shirts and basketball shorts and some goldfish crackers or something and some sunglasses. And then you have Rosemary, who packed like 7 suitcases, her travel laminator, which also, do they make those?
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
It's you.
It's me. I'm the friend. She has like a label maker and a travel laminator and all this stuff. Also, at one point, they said something about her. Oh, Logan was trying to get her to calm down and like and relax, and said something about think about the smell of like warm lamination.
Yeah.
And immediately I smelled it in my head and I was like, oh God, that is relaxing.
Nice.
So that's one of my new safety spots. It's like, I'm just going to smell like warm lamination in my head.
Yeah.
Relax me.
Oh, man.
It was during the bathtub scene.
It was during the bathtub scene.
Which is an odd place to think about warm lamination, but.
Well, whatever calmed you down, you know?
When you're about to lose your virginity, I guess.
Oh, Rosemary.
Oh, Rosemary.
Ugh. But see again, the two like they're completely different people.
But supporting each other. Who else would have thought to tell Rosemary to calm down by thinking about bullet journals and warm lamination, except for Logan?
Because she knows her so well. But yeah, so Rosemary, we've talked about, she loves rules, loves regulations, loves a schedule. She planned
that road trip to like the minute.
Yeah, she was like, we're going to go from point A to point B, and this is how we're going to get there. We're going to drive this many hours.
This is where we're stopping to use the bathroom.
Yeah. And then Joe is like, this is my last hoorah, okay?
Yeah.
Like, you're driving me to Maine so I can die, and I want to see some cool shit.
And I love that he kept pulling this is my death road trip card.
He
so
kept
you
calling
can't
it,
tell
this is
me
my
no.
death trip. Yeah, I want to see some cool shit before I die.
I want to go see the Grand Canyon, and you can't tell me no, because it's my death trip.
And Rosemary's like, no, we have to get to Maine. We have to get to Maine in this day. And so when Rosemary falls asleep,
they go to the Grand Canyon.
They drive to the Grand Canyon, and she's really mad at the beginning, but that's the very first time and the very first stop that she starts loosening up a little bit and trying to enjoy the ride.
That was
like
a big
huge
turning
metaphor
point in the
for
book.
life in general. Like, she starts loosening the reins, and she's like, you're right, you're gonna die at the end of this, regardless of how fast we get there. And
they talk her into like throwing the binder out the window. They were talking metaphorically. She almost tossed that binder into the Grand Canyon.
They're like, no, it's a national park, you can't throw garbage into the Grand Canyon. No. She's like, you told me to. Again, it's a metaphor.
Very literal, Rosemary.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was, I think, a big turning point for everyone on that trip.
Yeah, but from then on, it was really just about them getting to Maine, but also they asked Joe, okay, this is your death trip. We're taking you to Maine. That's where you're going to spend your final days. Do you have any regrets? Because
and he had one.
Yeah, because if you have any regrets, like, this is the trip.
Let's figure it out.
Skydiving? You want to go do something crazy?
Do you regret never eating sushi? I don't know. Whatever it is, we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. And he has one regret, and his name is Remy Saint-Pétant.
Oh, yeah, you're saying that one. Oh, Remy,
we'll
though.
Call him Remy from now on.
Remy.
But it comes out like over the trip that Joe is in love with this man named Remy, and they lived together for 5 years in Maine. They were together for 15 years altogether.
Yeah, something like that.
And he was absolutely head over heels in love with this man, and he was in love with him as well. But it was during the AIDS crisis, and Joe was terrified. And Remy was an activist, and he was an artist, and he wanted to be in the middle of everything. And he worked with ACT UP, and he
wanted
went
to
to
make
all the
change.
protests, and he wanted the politicians to pay attention to them, everyone who was dying, which is fantastic. But Joe was scared. He wanted to keep their bubble the way that it was, and so he bought this cabin in Maine, and Remy decided to leave with him from New York City and move with him to Maine, and they lived there for 5 years, and they were really happy. But he never wanted to leave the city. He wanted to be there in the middle of it, and Joe knew that, and so he decided to leave him without telling him, and packed all of his stuff up and left him a note and moved as far away from Maine as he possibly could, which is how he ended up
in the Pacific Northwest.
And Remy moved back to New York for a while, and then he traveled around and he had an amazing life, and he
but
opened
his
up an art
biggest
gallery.
regret was how he left Remy.
He left.
And so he doesn't really tell the girls all of this
right
at first. He tells them that he wants to go to these art galleries
in Santa Fe.
Santa Fe,
New Mexico.
And they go to these art galleries and he's going through everyone like on the street.
Right.
And you can kind of tell that he's looking for something and he's not finding it. Mm-hmm. And he walks into one and the director
rolls
of the gallery.
He's in a wheelchair.
Well, he rolls in. And the director kind of looks at him a little weird. And he's like, do I know you
before? Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's you. And he runs, or she runs to the back, comes back out with a painting. And it is a naked ass Joe in a bathtub. And Rosemary was outside in the van with the dog. And Logan pushed him in there.
Yeah. No, I think Rosemary was there for that too.
But
they both
either
saw
way, it was
his giant member.
What did we say? We didn't plan on how we were going to address this.
His giant penis.
Yeah. So
we are lesbians.
We don't even know. We didn't.
They saw his giant dick.
No.
Apparently, Joe is very well endowed.
As Logan says later, we need to address the elephant dick in the room.
Yeah.
But it is Joe, a very much younger Joe, in a bathtub, butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, for one, you're on a death trip with your favorite English teacher.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just staring at his junk in a painting.
I would love it. I would be just like Logan. I'd be like, I'm buying that shit.
Which she did.
How do I get my hands on it? How much is it? Do you take a credit card? I need this in my life.
I love that Rosemary and her win it.
She's like, I never, but Rosemary's like, I never want to look at that again. Get that out of my face.
And Logan carried it around in her backpack.
Yeah, but then Joe is like, girls, don't look at that. And they're like, we change your diapers.
Like we've seen it.
Your penis.
But yeah, so he was looking for Remy, who was the artist who painted that painting.
Yeah.
And
the love of his life.
He ended up getting pointed in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And they went and found.
Well, they like sleuthed because they saw he had this handkerchief that he always used, and it had RSP on it. Mm-hmm. And then the artist was Remy Saint Pétain.
Right.
And then they were like, oh my God, put two and two together. And so when she slams down this portrait that she's just bought, he's like, okay, I'll tell you the story. And then he tells them all about him.
Over margaritas at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, well, where is he? And he was like, you can't just find somebody. And then Rosemary Googles him and is like, okay, we're going to Mississippi because he has an art gallery there.
Right. Yeah. He was like, yeah, you can't find someone just like that. And Rosemary's like, I carry a computer in my pocket, basically.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the internet?
Yeah. It's right here. He's right here.
He's right here. And so that's their next stop on the road trip.
Yeah.
And I love that he had to, obviously when you leave someone that way, I'm sure it's going to make it hard to how are they going to react? Are they still going to be pissed? Whatever. Yeah. And then you're going to see someone, the love of your life, for the first time after that. And you're in a wheelchair on your deathbed.
Yeah.
And he practiced so hard what he was going to say.
Yeah.
And then just immediately blurted out, I wear diapers.
That was the first thing he said to him.
It was the first thing. And I cracked up so hard at that.
Poor Joe.
Remy comes out and is just the most suave man that you could ever imagine. Like, I just pictured him with the thickest Louisiana accent that you could possibly have. And he is just, and he was like, I wondered when you were going to come see me kind of thing.
I was looking for you.
Yeah, I was waiting on
for
you. And Joe's just like, I wear diapers.
I wear adult diapers. And Logan's like, what the hell? Because that
time
Rosemary did stay outside. And Logan was, and she was like, what the hell just happened? And then he tells him that he has cancer. And that he's dying.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, that's too bad. But he doesn't really, like, he tells him that, and then he just runs out of the gallery. Like, he's like, okay, we gotta go. We gotta, sorry, we were just in the neighborhood.
We were in the neighborhood.
From Santa Fe.
In a big van that said the queer cuddler.
Yeah. And like, he's like running away, and Remy runs out after him and is like, I don't know. It was a sign. The van dies.
Yeah.
In the parking lot, so they can't go anywhere. And so Remy's like, you're all staying with me.
I have a friend down here who will fix the van up.
Yeah. What was her name? It was like Gladys. Her name was Gladys.
Gladys at the repair shop / shrimp store.
Yeah, exactly. So bizarre. But they said that she was a white butch woman is what they...
Brandi Carlile fan.
Brandi Carlile fan, which sounds phenomenal. I want to know Gladys. But anyway, they go stay at Remy's and they end up staying there. Their battery is fixed the very next day, but they end up staying there for like 4 or 5 days, like a week, I think. And I don't know. It was just Rosemary and Logan have already had sex at this point. We glossed over that. When did that happen? It was before. It was in
a hotel room.
In the hotel room, like along the way.
Okay, and let's just say this. When we were discussing reading this book, and you had told me that you'd read it before, it was really good. I read the synopsis. I was like, this sounds fantastic. We got to do this one. I was like, is it spicy? And you're like, yeah. You told me that one of the scenes made you uncomfortable.
Right.
And so, but you didn't tell me which one.
Right.
So the entire time, and this was one of the few books that just based on life circumstances, we didn't live tweet back and forth with each other about as we were reading it. So I had no idea until I sat down an hour ago to record this, which scene it was that made you uncomfortable. I read this entire book trying to figure it out. Did not get it correct. And it was their first time sleeping together.
Yeah. And I don't that's what I don't want to say uncomfortable. It made me feel like I shouldn't be there because so Rosemary and Logan have their first kiss again at the hospital after Joe has had an episode.
They thought he was dying,
but
he had gas.
Logan's like, you can't die from farts. But Rosemary and Logan are mad because Rosemary is like, you can't just keep joking about everything. Like, when are you going to feel something? He's going to die and you're just acting like you're joking about it. And it's not like, I can't be the only one that's feeling this way. Like, show me your emotions. And then they make out.
She was like, all right. And then just
exactly.
They're making out in the hospital parking lot.
After that happens, I think it's a couple of days later, and they decide to make out again. And it's really hot and fantastic, but Rosemary kind of stops and she's like, I have never done this before.
Yeah.
I've never slept with anybody before, ever, anybody. And Logan's like, okay, well, you don't have to sleep with me. Like, we can take it slow, whatever you want. And Rosemary's like, but I think I want to have sex with you. And so the whole entire scene from the bed to the bathtub, which we'll get there, was so like earnest and intimate and sweet. I think that I felt like I shouldn't be there. Like, I felt like I shouldn't be watching it because it was so intimate and sweet. I felt like, because a lot of the other spice that we read is just like, hell yeah. Go.
Rail her into the mattress. Yeah.
Fucking go, man. Do it. I love this. It's so hot. But this one was not like that.
Sure. Yeah.
It was so sweet and like full of consent and like checking in and making sure that your partner felt okay and making sure that she wasn't feeling uncomfortable in any way and like asking permission and giving Rosemary full control because Logan knew that that's what she needed to feel safe.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't uncomfortable. I just felt like it was their moment that I shouldn't be sharing.
Yeah. Well, there were, I think, a lot of things different about this. For one, the setup for the sex scene was kind of like a photo shoot because prompted by the nude painting of Joe.
Yeah.
They were like, Joe, I think at one point told him, if you want some Tuesdays with Maury advice, take nudes while you're young.
Yeah.
And so
it's very Moira Rose of him.
Yeah. I kind of think I may have read it in her voice, honestly. Yeah. But Logan kind of uses that to help Rosemary be more comfortable. And she's like, okay, well, we don't have to sleep together. What if you took photos of me? Yeah. Nude photos of me.
Yeah.
And so they
go
in.
Hot.
Yeah. And so they go into the bathroom because they're going to do it in a bathtub because in the painting, Joe was in a bathtub.
Yeah.
And so they're going to kind of recreate that. And so she gives Rosemary her phone.
Yeah.
And is like, you're in control. You tell me. And so she starts taking her clothes off.
Like, and she asks, can I take off my pants?
Yeah.
Can I take off my shirt? Are you okay with me taking off my bra? And Rosemary the entire time can't speak, but she's like violently nodding.
Yeah. Like, I'm picturing her like hurting her neck physically with how hard she's nodding.
Please take your bra off.
And she's getting more and more into it and more comfortable with the situation. I do want to say that this sex scene, I understand now that we've talked about it, why you would have been uncomfortable with it the first time.
Yeah.
And because it is so intimate.
Yeah.
And there were so many things different about this from other sex scenes that we've read. And I've read many a spicy books. Let's just be real, guys. And if you want to count all this fan fiction I've read, it's
a lot more.
A lot. And so, for one, you very rarely see a later in life virgin. And so that was something that was out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And they also mentioned before they even got in there, Logan was like, well, maybe you're asexual and that's fine.
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't need that or don't want that. And that's
or you're
totally
aromantic.
fine.
Yeah. Whatever it is. And so,
which was also so freaking sweet.
Right. And for Logan to just bring that up like it was maybe you like pizza, you know.
Exactly.
It was completely normalizing all of that and not making her feel uncomfortable
or weird.
Right. Or weird.
And Logan's past, she's slept with a lot of women. Like, she sleeps with women because she likes to have sex and it's fun and it never means anything for her. So I didn't expect her. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it sets you up to not expect her to be so sweet and understanding. And I think maybe that was another reason why I was like, holy shit, like she's being so
because
kind.
if you looked at just her own sex life, she should have been very just flippant about it and like, it's just sex, what does it matter? It mattered a lot, and she was there for Rosemary through all of it. And it was like I could see where you were talking about. It almost felt a little bit voyeuristic.
Yeah.
Like you were in the corner
there.
watching something happen that you shouldn't, because it was so intimate. But I think that's one of the things that made that scene so special, is you had all that, but also it felt extremely hot.
Yeah.
And you
it
could
was
feel the tension between them, the sexual tension between them, as well as Rosemary's anxiety about it all.
Yeah.
But I think that it was one of the most well-written sex scenes that I've read.
Absolutely. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And like I said, the first time I read it, I was like, oh God, I don't know. And then this time I read it and I was like, this is so beautiful and I love it. But again, I feel like it's not mine.
Yeah.
You know, and that's so silly because it's a book and it's supposed to be read, and like that's the whole point of it. But at the same time, I think that the characters were so real to me and relatable to me that I was like, I'm just going to give you a moment and I'll come back in a couple of pages.
I'll just be outside. You let me know when you're done.
Like knock 3 times when this is over. Because
put a sock on the doorknob and I'll know not to come in.
Exactly. It's so funny. I grew up with my grandmother going to the same bookstore in Jasper, and she was obsessed with George R.R. Martin books, and she loved Game of Thrones, and she was reading them when they originally came out. So like every book is like 10 years later, the next one comes out. And I remember being young and going to that bookstore and then being like, no, Miss Betty, the next book's not out. And she would always say, I don't read the sex scenes. I skip over the sex scenes. And my mom and my aunt would be like, Mother, you do not, how do you know it's over if you don't read through it at least? But she would always be so embarrassed about it. Like, I don't look, I close my eyes. And I felt very much like Betty Sue in that moment. Right. And like being like, I didn't even read that sex scene. I wasn't there for it. 100%. Like I just picked up after they got off.
But at the same time, it was one of the hottest sex scenes too. And I think it was because it wasn't even graphic, honestly.
No, I've never read a mutual masturbation scene ever.
Really?
In my life, like in any book I've ever read, I've never read one. And maybe that's the reason why I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know. Like maybe, and it's hot. It was fucking hot.
Oh, it was hot.
But at the same time, that's what I was saying. I was just like,
I think that now that you say that, that could possibly be why it felt so private, is because when you think about like masturbation, that's usually something you do like by
alone
yourself.
Time.
There's nobody else around.
But how hot would it be to watch your partner take care of themselves?
And also how awesome and respectful is it that you're doing it because you want to know what they like.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. Logan was like, I want to see how you make yourself feel good. Because
so
I want to make you feel
good.
good.
Exactly.
So show me how you do it so that I can do it that way. I know that makes you feel good. Like, oh my God, the communication and the eye contact and like holy shit. Again, I think I might be blushing right now.
I think you are. Yeah. I don't know what. I think I'm constantly blushing, but it's fine.
But yeah, no, it was really fantastic.
Yeah. So that happened before the whole I wear adult diapers and they meet Remy situation. Yeah.
And so the whole time they're at Remy's house, Remy and Joe are getting to go on dates together and just catch up and spend time together.
They're really reconnecting, and it's so adorably sweet.
And it's wonderful for them, but also Logan and
Rosemary
are getting to spend time together and just
they go
sit
on
on
a
the couch
date and just hang out,
read. And Rosemary writes every day, and she reads Logan her pages every night, which I think is extremely sexy and intimate. I love that because I like to write.
Yeah.
And reading stuff out loud to people after you've written it is really, really scary sometimes.
I think just
and
reading,
vulnerable.
I think just reading out loud to someone is in a way intimate.
I love it.
I think that whether it's something you've written or just reading a book, I think it's a very intimate way to share something with someone.
Yeah.
And if it's something you've written, even more so, because I just sharing something that I've written with someone on paper, like letting them read it, feels very intimate to me on a way of like you're sharing something about yourself.
Yeah, it's really, and that's all. Not, it was last month I did a public reading of some of my work and other people's work.
It was fantastic.
Thank you so much. But
so good.
They were like, "Are you going to read your work?" And I was like, "No." Absolutely not. No, someone else.
Because your one act play is.
I read the play.
Autobiographical, kind of.
You know, I took
loosely
some liberties,
based.
but yeah, it's
on some.
The one act play is definitely based on some of my conquests, some of my learning experiences from college. But I did read that because that's funny, and I can put on a character when I'm reading a play, and it doesn't necessarily have to be me. When I'm reading like
poetry or something like that, yeah.
There's absolutely no way. That's why I've never done like a poetry slam or like gone to Poetry Out Loud or anything in town, because I'm so terrified. Like I could hand my work to someone else and they can read it out loud.
Yeah.
I'm still going to feel a certain way, but I'm not going to feel as vulnerable.
As an audience member, and knowing that some of your one act play is drawn off of real things, it felt voyeuristic in a way watching you read it, which I mean, I've done a couple times. I've seen you read it a couple times.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get any less voyeuristic each time, because like I maybe have a little bit more insider knowledge than the average audience member does, but even still I'm like, this feels wrong, I shouldn't be here for this. So like that makes total sense with the bathtub scene and everything about how that would like feel the same way. But it's scary to share something you've written with someone else, period. But I can't imagine sitting there and reading out loud something that I've written to someone. But I think that it's just I think it highlights the trust that they have.
It does.
Because they were the best of best friends.
Yeah, and she even says like reading her work out loud to Logan feels like they're in their childhood bedroom
one of the
all
things
over again.
Logan loved when they were kids is the Rosemary's ability to just make a story up on the spot.
Yeah.
And just it calmed her almost in a way. And so I feel like this is just like the grown-up version of what they did when they were kids, and it's so sweet.
It's so sweet.
Yeah. They also still fought like cats and dogs during this time though too. Like they had a whole blow up on their first date. That was quite interesting at a barbecue restaurant. And
again, telling Logan to stop running away.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
You love a runner. We know.
Like, just talk to each other. Can we just talk to each other? That's all I need. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so they spend all this time there and it's wonderful. But eventually Logan's like, I'm bored. I'm so bored.
You were talking about this before we started, and I didn't realize while I was reading this that in my head I was picturing you saying those words.
See, this is so me. Like, this is why, like, and we talked about this off mic too. I feel like in my youth and when I'm feeling youthful or restless, I feel very much like a Logan. I do. The older I get, the more my anxiety takes over and the more like structure I think that I need in my life. So I feel very much more like Rosemary the older I get.
Yeah.
I'm not all about perfectionism. I'll never be that gal. But I do feel like knowing where you're going really makes you less stressed out, you know? And maybe that's because now I'm in a family unit and I have a kid and like, it's not just me. If it was just me, I'd be like willy nilly, let's just get on the road. I don't care. But now I have other people and I'm like, no, though. I need to know like what's happening. And loose, I'm still fun, but I need to know. But in this moment, Logan was like, I'm so bored. And Remy's like, being bored is good for your mind. And she's like, no, not for my ADHD mind. Like, my arms are lead and I can't move and I
feel
hate
it in my
everything.
bones.
And I'm so bored, right? And Joe is like, well, it's the 4th of July. And
she was like, I'm not celebrating this country.
America's being a bitch. I'm not showing up to her birthday.
Right, which fair.
Fair. Still very relatable.
I also read this near the 4th of July.
Yes.
I was like, I feel you, girl.
I'm not showing up to her birthday.
Like you do when you're going to celebrate our great nation, you go to a drag show.
Absolutely. A drag show. And apparently Joe used to do drag back in New York.
Joe and Remy.
And he was like, I want to be beautiful again. Like, let's do it. One last drag.
Loved the two of them together.
I did too.
And I almost want like their backstory as a book.
Yeah.
I would read the Joe and Remy.
I really mourned Joe dying, but I also mourned all of the years that he didn't have with Remy.
That they didn't have together. Yeah.
Right.
But, oh God, the way that Remy just immediately embraced him, there was no anger or animosity for what happened.
Whatsoever.
And he was just like,
I still love you.
It's about time you came back. I've been waiting here. And they just picked up right where they left off.
He even named the art gallery for him.
Yeah.
From his
so he
favorite,
could find him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he could find him again. And I was like,
it took you long enough. Basically was the
romanticism of it all was just.
Why didn't he call him? Joe could have called him, but
Listen,
also Remy could have called him too.
Joe couldn't figure out how to work the internet.
Jesus.
He was like, how do you look someone up? And she's like, Google.
Yeah, Google.
I mean, of course he didn't call him.
Okay. I mean, you've got 30
we digress.
years. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go to a drag show. It's in the basement of a church. In a crazy, like not even in Shreveport. It was like,
and it's not just Remy and Joe. The girls dressed up as well.
They dressed up as drag kings.
Yes.
Like I've never done drag. I feel like, oh my God, my little theater heart would explode if I could be a drag king one day. I just don't know if I have the guts for it. You know what I mean?
I think you could.
Oh.
I think you would get in full makeup and costume and like, you're
just
done.
Nail it.
You would immediately change your personality.
Absolutely.
You would become that character.
I was thinking about this earlier about what my drag king name would be, and I didn't have any really good ones. The only one that stuck was Mandonna. And I'd be like Madonna, but I would be like a man, right? And so I would have like full on dude costumes.
I think we get it. Yeah.
But I would still have like the pointy bra.
The pointy boobs.
Or
yeah.
like, there would be parts of Madonna within.
Yeah.
It would be fantastic. I don't know. It's a work in progress. So maybe if we have a new gay bar in town. Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
Disco
I'm excited.
Dollies. I cannot wait.
I don't know if I'm too old for this though, but.
Too old to go to the bar or too old to be a drag king?
Either one.
No, we're
going. Yeah.
They're like having auditions for drag queens.
Oh, I'm not going to do that, but go for it.
I wouldn't audition for it. I mean, I'd have to go on amateur night, but they're auditioning drag queens. So the drag shows are going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. And how long has it been since we've had a drag show in the state? I mean, we have drag shows
all the time, but
there's
they're at like brunch places.
Yeah. They're like drag brunch, which is fantastic. I love it. But it's been a long time since we've had like a dedicated.
We haven't had a dedicated
queer
gay bar in
space
forever
with drag shows.
I'm so
excited.
And
listen, in my 20s, Fridays and Saturday nights, that's where I was at.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where I was
there
at.
hasn't really
and
been.
Nobody loves a drag queen as much as a lesbian. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Or at least this lesbian anyway.
Yeah, no, I love a drag show. I love
a drag show.
I will scream. I will tip.
Yeah.
I think when I moved back to Huntsville in 2014, like there weren't really bars then. We had one and then it closed really quickly. And I feel like I only went maybe twice.
Yeah, when I moved back from college, so like 2007 to like 2009-ish. Because I was still going when I met my wife. And we met in 2009. So
we live in Alabama. We're not working with much, guys. But when we get one, we're going to support it.
We are there.
Rainbow flags will fly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited. We need to go check it out and support it. I think I didn't really think about this until just now when you said you were thinking about it. I didn't think about it while I was reading the book about what my drag king name would be. And the only thing I can come up with is what I just made my gamer tag to be, which is Big D Energy.
Oh, that's good. You could also say you could do D's nuts all the time. Like you could have stickers.
I finally found bought a hat that says D's nuts.
Oh my God, good. See, good. You have so much more to work with. Dude, I'm going to have to work harder on mine.
The fact that it's taken this long for me to have D's nuts merch. But yeah.
Oh, we digress again. Anyway, they go to this drag show and it's absolutely marvelous. And he gets to dance on stage. Joe gets to dance on stage with Remy again, and they're beautiful.
Logan gets up and sings. My little gay heart fluttered so hard at this one. Logan gets up and sings she's in love with the boy, but says when she starts singing that when she was a kid, she would change boy to the word girl.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, me too. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Because growing up in Alabama, if there's one thing I love, it is 90s country music. And Trisha Yearwood was the queen.
So much
I will be real honest. She was part of my gay awakening.
Really?
Yes.
I love that
Love
for
a
you.
Trisha Yearwood.
Jody Messina and Jennifer Nettles were mine.
Oh, girl. Jennifer Nettles, shut up.
I know.
Shut up. But yeah, Trisha Yearwood loved her as a kid. In fact, wanted to go to Belmont because that's where she went to school. But yeah, that whole scene, I was just like, same, Logan.
Yes.
Same.
And then freaking Rosemary is Rebel Without a Cock. Best fucking name ever. Dressed up like Danny Zuko, going on stage and telling them to do the instrumental version. And she sings Bitch by Meredith Blake. Meredith Brooks. Sorry, I'm thinking about The Parent Trap for some reason.
Okay. Also gay awakening, but whatever.
Who?
The
Elaine?
mom?
Oh, the mom or the stepmom? Or both.
Whichever. Yeah, all of them. Anybody. Insert mom in high-waisted jeans from 90s and early 2000s movie.
Also
Here.
Chessie. I had a thing for Chessie, I think. I think I wanted to be the stepmom, and I wanted to be with Chessie.
There you go.
And they're
That's
best friends in real
right.
life, so
yeah, even better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Joe looks at Logan and was like, "Did you know Rosemary could sing?" And
she's
Logan
like,
was
"Yeah,
like,
she used to sing me to sleep at night when I had nightmares." Oh my god,
gay,
gay! It's so gay. We love it.
So do
we love it.
They're
I
adorable.
eat it up. Nom nom nom. So okay, though after this night, Joe's health takes a turn. He has to be taken to the hospital the next morning. He has fluid building up in his lungs, and they have to get him to Maine.
This is basically, they're like, this is the end.
This is the end. We got to get to Maine. They're in Mississippi at this point. Rosemary and Logan take shifts driving to get
nonstop
to Maine so that he can be where he needs to be.
And Remy packs him a cooler with food because Remy's love language is cooking and food. And so Remy hooks him up with food and also hires hospice and like people to help when they get to Maine. Yeah. So there is a nurse and then also like an assistant
of some kind.
He was like a cook / housekeeper /
He always made tea
assistant.
And he read books to Joe, and he made sure that the girls were okay too, not just Joe.
He told them that the nurse was there to take care of Joe and he was there to take care of them.
Yeah. He was like a death doula kind of.
Yeah. Which I honestly think something we haven't touched on a lot in this, and one of the things that I appreciated most is this book talks about dying with dignity and dying on your own terms, which is something that I care a lot about.
Absolutely.
And death doulas have come up multiple times in my life, like just randomly. It's been kind of bizarre. And that job kind of fascinates me.
Absolutely.
In a way of, it's something that I never thought of until I realized that they existed.
Yeah.
And now the importance of them is it kind of is, I don't know how to describe it. I've experienced some loss personally recently. Yeah. And it really has me thinking on dying in a way that you are okay with. You can't always control it. There's accidents and there's, you have no idea when it's going to be your time to go.
Yeah. But instances like his where it's a terminal diagnosis and he's of sound mind.
And choosing to fight or choosing to not fight or choosing to stop fighting after a certain point and going out on your own terms is something that I think is not talked about enough. Like death to me in our society almost seems like a taboo subject in a way. A lot of times people don't want to talk about it. It makes them uncomfortable. Yet it's something that
everybody
all of us
does.
Everybody's going to die. And you're going to experience death throughout your life. You're going to have people that you love and people that you're close to that are going to die. And you're going to have to grieve that. And grief is such a roller coaster and an enigma. And
it's different for everybody.
It's different. And this book handles that so beautifully and in a way that I think more people need to pay attention to. And so bravo on that.
I've not experienced being with somebody through that transition except for once. And I know for me, it was an absolutely, I guess it was like it changed my view on death in general. Like, I'd never seen someone die. And so seeing someone leave the earth and then just not be anymore, it's absolutely jarring to people who it's like your brain can't accept it, you know? And I think that having someone there that's trained in that transitional period while it's happening and after would be so helpful and I guess like supportive in a way that your family might not necessarily be able to do.
Yeah.
Or like your partner might not necessarily be able to say the right thing because they're experiencing it at the same time that you are, you know? And I think that a job like that would be so absolutely, I think he says at one point, Logan says, how many of your patients die to the nurse who's a hospice nurse?
And he's like,
and he
all
says
of them.
100%, all of them do. And she said, how do you deal with that? And he said, I'm honored. I'm so honored to be with them during that transition, that point.
And it takes a special person, I think, to be able to
hold that
to
grief
do that and to hold that and honor it.
Yeah. And also not be completely affected by it. Just if you can change the view of sadness versus them feeling honored to be a part of that part of your life, then God, bravo.
Yeah.
That would be an outrageous amount of weight, but also an outrageous, I don't know, like it would just
the
make
honor
you
of it
view life in such a different way.
Yeah, it does. And I also really appreciated how grief was represented in so many different ways and how the different characters dealt with the same situation.
Right.
You have Remy, you have Logan, you have Rosemary, you've got the hospice nurse, and they're all in this together. And they're all experiencing the same thing essentially. And they're processing it in so many different ways.
Yeah. And the end of his life, it doesn't just happen immediately. Like if you're in the end stages of a disease like that, I mean, you don't always just pass away immediately. No. Like it took days for him to finally pass away. And it was all them questioning like, why is he hanging on? Or he hasn't drank any water in 3 days. And I don't understand. Is he afraid? Or is he, he doesn't want to leave us alone, and then giving him permission, like we're going to be fine. We're going to live our lives together and we're going to be happy. Like
you can go, you can rest now.
Like I'm giving you permission, but I mean, the body's job is to keep going as long as it can.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like the body chemistry, your brain is not just going to give up immediately.
Yeah.
And seeing that
it's very different. So just speaking from personal experience, I've lost both my parents now at this point, and I lost my mom very suddenly. She had been sick, but she wasn't terminally sick, and she just one day was there, one day wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was very unexpected for all of us. And then I lost my dad recently, and it was more of it wasn't quite like Joe, but it was more of he had a medical situation that we knew was going to end his life at some point. It was a matter of when, not if. And we watched him get progressively worse.
Yeah.
And even though his death was still a shocking, was still a surprise.
Yeah.
We didn't expect it to be quite so soon. We knew that it was coming. And so it made the grief different and so it's almost in a way, not easy, but for lack of a better term, easier, I think, when it is sudden and you don't see it coming, because you do get to prepare in a way when you do know it's coming, but you also have to sit with knowing that it's coming as well. And they handled that. So when I tell you, I saw myself on the pages of this book so much throughout that process that I can't imagine being able to write that as realistic as Alison wrote it in this. And it, having lived it, putting it on paper like that in a better way, I couldn't do it. But Leah telling Joe that it's okay, we're going to be okay. He ends up leaving the cottage in Maine to both of them.
Yeah. And that's why it was so important for both of them to drive him to Maine.
Let's just give Mr. Joe Delgado a round of applause for the longest matchmaking game in history. That man had schemes upon schemes upon schemes.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I'm done. I'm going to make them bitches drive me to Maine.
Yep.
And they're going to end up together by the end of it. And then I'm going to give them a house.
So they could just live in.
They can just live in.
Yeah.
Happily ever.
So nice. And they looked like Rosemary, when he tells them, I gave you both this cottage and, you know, do what you want with it. Rosemary's like, I looked up the Zillow listing as soon as we came, and it's like just shy of $1 million because it's like on the beach. And, and she's like, you can't give us a house like this house.
First of all, he bought it in like the 80s for like $25,000
like,
probably.
I own this house free and clear. And she's like, you what? You're going to give us $1 million?
She's like, I can't afford my car. You bought this on a teacher's salary? Actually, not even on a teacher's salary. He bought this on like a artist's salary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but I mean, talk about an investment.
Yeah. Because it's in Bar Harbor, Maine, like right outside of Acadia National Forest with a beach view. And he's just handing it over to them. Like, amazing. Rosemary's lost her job and Logan.
I keep waiting for some rich gay uncle to crawl out of the woodworks and leave me everything. But it ain't happened yet.
Yeah, where's our Joe?
Listen, I don't even want a beach house. I'd sell for a couple grand to be nice.
Oh, but yeah. So Joe does pass away. He passes away on the back porch watching the sunrise. And Van Morrison playing, and his dog at his feet, and his Pendleton blanket on his legs with both of his favorite girls beside him. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Honestly, I mean, it was a sad scene, but it was just so beautiful. It kind of overshadowed the sadness for a little while.
And the relief they felt that he was no longer in pain.
Exactly.
You know, he was their favorite person, but you don't ever want your favorite person to hurt. So I don't know, like it was absolutely beautiful and everything tied up so beautifully. And they did decide to stay together, and they did decide to stay in Maine, and they kept the cute little pup.
But hold on, you skipped right over your favorite girl running again.
Dude, I can't. Listen, I just ignore that, okay? I knew that it was going to come back around. Again, like the sex scene. I just closed my eyes and waited until she came back.
But in her defense, this time she wasn't necessarily running. Yeah. She was running towards, I think, some closure. She went to go visit her mom, who lived not within driving distance.
Yeah, in Vermont.
And who had remarried and had a whole new family and children.
And was kind of a dick.
Not kind of, was a dick.
Yeah.
And I did get quite a chuckle out of it. You can tell that the stepdad was very uncomfortable and awkward about it. And the mom was just being an asshole.
Yeah.
And Logan's looking around at the family photos of this family that her mom left her for, essentially. And these perfect looking children out of a J. Crew magazine and whatever. And then the daughter walks in holding the hand of her girlfriend, looking like she just got off her shift at the Hot Topic.
Yeah.
And Logan's like, oh, maybe it's not so perfect after all. And she was like, you queer? And the girl was like, duh.
The fuck are you talking about?
And I was like, they're gonna be friends.
Yeah,
they're gonna be.
Cute
they're gonna
little
be
half
friends.
siblings.
Yeah,
they'll call each other like 3 times a year.
Yeah, and they'll go to the drag show together.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, she goes to get some closure with her mom, and I think that
because
really,
Rosemary says, "I love you," and she says, "I need to think about that."
She freaks
basically
out
and runs away to Vermont. But she finds that closure and comes back, and then is really oddly quiet for a couple of days,
except for the hammering
upstairs. And brings Rosemary up and it's like, I finished. Rosemary, come look at this.
If that's not the most ADHD response,
lesbian ADHD,
lesbian specific ADHD response of I love you, I freaked out, I'm sorry, I built you a room.
I redecorated this entire bedroom and
I laid the floors myself.
Yeah. I painted everything. Your typewriter is going to go right under that window. I made this for you. And this is me saying, I'm sorry, I love you too, and I want to live here in this house
that Joe just left us. That's worth a lot of money.
Instead of just saying that, she had to completely redecorate,
remodel a room in like 72 hours and didn't sleep at all.
I've not been sleeping very well. And
I don't know that I've eaten.
Yeah, and Rosemary's like, "What the hell?" And she's like, "I have hyperfixation."
Which who hasn't?
I've done it. This room right now we're sitting in, I did it in like 3 days.
I walked in one day, this wall was a whole different color.
Yeah, I know.
Every time I walk in here, I'm like, well, somebody redecorated.
Now? Yeah. We're almost
You're like,
there.
look, I built a desk.
Exactly. Exactly. I did. I built
Actual
a desk
words. I walked in here. She was like, look, I built a desk. And I
with
was
my
like,
hands.
good for you.
Yeah. I'm butch sometimes. No, I'm not. I'm more like Joanna Gaines. But I know how to use a drill.
By built a desk, she drilled some legs onto an existing.
But I had to get 2 different size legs.
You did. You had to measure something.
I did.
I'm sure you used a tape measure.
Math is hard.
And a level and everything. The tape measure's still laying on the desk, too.
It
Talk
is.
about ADHD. You ain't put that up yet.
That's for my gallery wall, okay? It hasn't gone up yet.
And we're going to submit this episode to both of our therapists.
Maybe we should think about medicating.
I am medicated.
Okay. Maybe I should think about medicating.
I think you should. Listen, I highly recommend being pharmaceutically enhanced. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Oh, geez. And on that,
So the book was good.
the book was good. I don't know what I would
This
do on
episode's
Adderall.
brought to you by Undiagnosed ADHD.
Oh, man.
We
Well,
joke because it's real.
Yeah. We love the book. Alison Cochrun, you did a beautiful job.
Yeah, thank you so much for covering so many heavy things in one book, but making it feel like a joyride.
Absolutely. Even if it was a death trip. It
And
was a trip. We
It
loved
was
it.
a great book to read for our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we're still here
Thank you guys for listening. Thanks everyone for supporting us.
and sticking around. Next month, we're going to be reading Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Fanny Flagg. And I cannot wait. Listen, Ruth and Iggy for fucking ever.
girl.
Everybody read it. It's so wonderful.
Yes.
If you haven't read it before, read it and then watch the movie. Maybe we can do another crossover episode.
Also, I just recently educated some people on the fact that not only is the book queer, so is the author.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah. Way to go, Fanny Flagg. Reppin' Alabama.
I mean, honestly, if your name's Fanny Flagg, that's a great
That's not
queer
her real name, right?
I don't know. We'll figure that out before the episode. We'll get back to you on that. We're going to go fact check that and we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much.
so much. We love you.
Love you. Bye.
See you later.